Hello, this is Angela with Dogwood Paper Arts. Welcome to my channel. Hey, today I want to do some laminating, but first we have to prepare what we're going to laminate. So first I'll start by showing you what I've made, and while I do that I'll say thank you for being here, and hello new subscribers. So good to have you here. This is what I'm making today. Similar but different. I got this idea from G. Kerr, and I will put a link to her page and then or to her playlist of laminating things. So I made this one out of envelopes. Now I've decided, envelopes that you buy are not always the most sturdy. A lot of times they're really thin. You really got to buy quality ones if you don't want them to split. But anyway, I made these cute little pouches. Aren't they adorable? So, because I think sometimes envelopes can be weak, well, I know they are because they damage quite easy. So I'm going to show you a little different way to do them. What could you do with these, though? First, let's talk about that. Well, there's all kinds of things you could fill them up with, isn't there? If you were gifting somebody some ephemera, this would be a perfect holder for it. You could make some journaling cards, and you could include it with perhaps a laminated journal that they buy from you. And inside here would be extra papers and, little tags and butterflies and, whatever. And I have put these plastic snaps on here. I love this one. Now I did find, if you're using paper that is directional, that if you flip these over, it's going to be upside down. But if you turn them here this way that you're supposed to look at them, everything is right side up. So I kind of like that idea, that it's right side up. I have an envelope stuck. Oh dear, it must be glued. There we go. A little bit of glue up there. So anyway, this one I cut a little close to the top. So that wasn't so great. So anyway, 4 little pouches. And these pouches actually measure 5 3/8 by 4.5. 5 3/8 by 4.5. So they really could hold quite a bit of stuff. Perfect little present for teachers at the end of the year if you have grade school kids that like to give their teachers a present. These would be great. Christmas. I did notice, and it's something to take to heart, and I remembered after I had the problem that G had said it over on her channel. You have to be really careful with the laminate. Make sure your desk is cleaned off, because every little thing is going to be like a magnet and drawn to this laminating paper. So I got a little crumb in there from a sponge. So I'm going to show you now how I'm making my new ones, because I decided I wanted the inside to be colorful. I wanted them to be a little slimmer. And so I've done this. I've taken double-sided paper. Now it is directional. And I've made these even smaller little pouches, but they're perfect for little pieces of ephemera and ATCs if you collect those. be a good place to store lots of little doodads that you want to send off to somebody. But I'm going to show you how to make these today, where you make your own little expandable envelopes that are nice and sturdy, we hope. This paper is the Butterfly or Flutter collection by G45. So anyway, let me get on with it and I'll try and speed through some of the pieces and show you how I did this. So I cut my first piece at, well, you're going to need two to laminate, to do a single-sided laminating, but you're going to need two pieces to do that, so you don't waste paper. And I think we'll start over here, and I will do this one at 4 inches. And then my second one, oh, this is the envelopes. So the next one you'll do at 4 inches. Ugh. I must have cut the first one crooked. And then this should be 4 inches, hopefully. Okay, now we want to cut these down to 8 inches, each one. We need one more of these, by the way. Or you could just do 3 if you wanted. That would be a... But you're going to need the extra paper for the outside. So save this. We're going to need at least 2 of those. If we do everything the same way, then with the same paper, then we'll need 4 of them. There's 8. And here is 8. Oh, my dog is getting into my garbage. Just a minute. Okay, sorry about that. You're going to need 4 of these for pockets. And you'll need 2 of these for these pockets. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3. Oops, we need one more, don't we? So we're going to cut this one at 4. 4. Then we're going to cut it at 8. Oh, I love that top. So I'm going to cut my 8 off on this end. And then I have the butterfly. So make sure you're saving these. Okay, now this piece I want you to cut at 4 1/8. 4 1/8. These are each 4 inches this way and 8 inches this way. Cut this one at 4 1/8 and save this one for something else. And then let's see here. Okay. So now we need to get our measurements in here on where we want to score it. Now, if your paper is directional and you score down here for your long front flap, then it's going to be upside down. So flip it the other way. And let's see, that's the pocket. Oh, it's right over here. Let's see. That would be upside down. We need it to go this way. Okay, so the directional is going to go this way. You can see by this. Okay, so our first score is at 4 1/4. I had it at 4 1/2. Oh, it's because I moved it to 4 1/2. Okay, well this is 4. That's the length of the envelope. So we know that 4 inches will not work here. So we go to 4 1/4. Is that what that was? Yeah. 4 1/4. And score it. And then go to and then go to 8 3/4 and score here. Okay. Now we're going to cut off some of this. We have to have a flap here, and the flap should measure, about, let's see, about 1 3/4 of an inch. So we'll go to, I think, even, probably go to 10 1/2. The paper measures 8 1/2 by 11. You could go to 10 1/2. Now we're actually going to cut this piece off. I just have a score line in there, so I know where I want to cut it. I'll probably end up cutting that on the... So anyway, you need 2 of these. Score at 4 1/4, 8 3/4, and then cut it off at 10 1/2. And save this piece to reinforce the snap. Okay? Go ahead and fold these lines. This is the 4 1/4. This is making the outer pouch. And fold this line. And you need to make 2 of these. I'm going to show you why here in just a second. Now all of these little pouches you cut here, they're all going to get folded. You decide which you want as your inside. You're going to fold each one and try to make it even up here with the 2 pieces. This is going to be the inside. We're getting the whole preliminary thing done so that once we laminate, we just have to install our pieces into the laminated pouch part. So we have all 4 of those. Now, this piece, this is what we cut off from here. We want to make sure that it's going to fit in here, right here. So I do need to cut it off straight. That is the most important part right now. So let's double check this one and be sure I have it straight. And of course I don't. Of course not. Because of the way I cut it. And then put this one in there. It doesn't have to measure this whole piece. This is just going to show as a reinforcement for that snap. But we want it to be on here, and we're actually going to laminate that side of it for the pouch. Okay, so now this is going to get laminated. Okay. Now take that other 4x4 piece that you had. I told you to save 2 of them. And you're going to get your scoreboard. And you're going to score this at every 1/2 inch. This is what we're using to make our envelopes. 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and it ends on 4. And then I'm going to cut these apart on every inch, so I have a 1/2 inch fold. Whoops, and I'm going to fold them in this direction to match my envelopes. And each one of those will need 2. But I'm just going to stack them up together. And you'll do that. Those will cover these 2. And there we go. Oh, I'm going to save that. That would make a very good tag. Oh, this would be pretty. Every 1/2 inch, you're going to score. Okay? Easy enough, huh? And then you'll cut those apart, and those will go for these 2. So then you have all these done. Now I'm going to switch over to a new color that I have ready, almost ready. Okay. So I ended up with 2 extra leftover pieces. Now these can be turned into journal cards to put inside your pouch if you like. Or you can turn them into fussy cuts and laminate them on both sides, and then you can use them as dangles on your pouch if you like. So we take these little folds that we made, these 1/2 inch folds, and we're going to apply those to each of these little folded papers. Now I did find that it was important to line these right up on the edge, just like that, and then get all your glue out of there, because glue just loves paper. And if you need these to be directional as well, then you'll want to be sure you get them in the right position. I've found that it doesn't really matter with these because you're not looking at them anyway when you open the pouch. You're just like, wow, that's a pretty pouch in there. Okay, lining those up. And then we're going to make sure all that glue's out of there. I'm going to turn my laminator on. So if you hear a noise, that's what you're hearing. Whoops! Went right off the edge. And then I found it was very important to get this lined up along here, here, and here, so that your envelope is not wonky and sticking out further on one side than the other. Then I just double check the inside. Made sure there's no glue. And then I marked this at 2 inches. This is 4 inches wide, and I marked it at 2 inches on the inside. And that's so that I can put my thumb notches in it. Now our thumb notches are going to go between each pocket except for this one and this one. So what I found was I put it all the way up where it's going to, even though it's going to be interfered with by the thumb notch, I went ahead and glued it anyway, so I wasn't taking a chance on missing where I glued it. And then I put a little more glue right there. It's approximately the bottom of my thumb notch. And I lined this up. If something's not even along the top, and it's not even along the bottom, the most important part is that it's even up here. If they're off a little bit, that's not going to matter. We gave an 1/8 of an inch extra. Okay, so now I have my little mark here at 2 inches. So I'm going to slip that in there. And let's see, I know I have one here too. Here it is, right here. And that's just so I can line my notches up, kinda. And then this one is going to be wet. Just give some cute little thumb notches in there. Okay, so this one is going to go for this pouch over here. I'm going to put these aside because I don't want to use them right now. I'll put them over there. And now I'm going to make sure I have my pouch. And this is the side that's going to get laminated. And my pouch, and this is the side that's going to get laminated. This one's going down, this one's going to go up. And then these little pieces, I want to put this on the, excuse me, on the inside, and I want it laminated. So this is going to go down. And this one is going to go up, so I can laminate this side. I need to double check this and make sure that it's going to fit. Yes, it is. Okay. So now that I've told you that part, I'm going to mix them up over here. I'm going to clear off my desk of any little tiny doodads. And I'm going to get my laminate. This is the solid end. It's the closed end. It's going to go in the machine first. But it's always hard to open them, I think. I have a little fuzzy on my finger. So I want to get rid of that. I hope. Okay, now I need a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. Now these are not going to match up perfectly, and I did fold these. I made sure that I folded them before I increased them. So This one is going to go, we'll just put this one down right here. This is to do the single-sided laminating. And then right over here, let's see, that's going to get laminated. And I want this side laminated too. Is that right? Yes. Okay, so it is going to go that way. Now, there is room on here to put other things, but I'll take one for the team here and waste some paper because I don't have anything else to stick on there. Okay, let's put on one piece of paper. And it needs to cover all the way to the end of the of this paper. Then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to approximate where this should go. This side up, that's going to get laminated. So approximately right there. Looks like I'm way over this way, so I'm going to move it over. And then this one is over here somewhere. So it's approximately right there. Okay. Make sure there's nothing on there. Now this is 5mm paper, so I need to check my machine and switch it over to 5mm. So now it's not ready. It was ready, but now it's not. The reason we're only laminating one side of the paper is so that we can glue this paper into the pouch. If we laminated this, we wouldn't be able to glue it to this. Oh, this will be so cute. Oh, I think we could make a big one too. You know, we could make it like this 8.5 by, a little smaller than 8.5 by 11. Say we made it, I don't know, 8 by 10 and laminated that one side, then we'd have a pouch we could use. Let's see, does that ready light come on? I can't remember. I think it does. Because if I went over to 3, it'd probably be ready. Oh, there it is. Now it's ready. Okay. So you line this up, of course. Of course. This is the part I find hard. Lining things up. And we let it go through. Boy, my allergies are going full bore, I'll tell you. Driving me crazy. And the other thing that G said that she thought was important was to, when this comes out, that's hot, is to run it back through. And I agree with her, because you can see that it's not quite all the way sealed down yet. You can see some lumps in it. So go ahead and run it back through, and that will seal it all up. Because it should seal to this white paper, regardless, you know. But it won't seal to the paper between the sheets. It will adhere to the paper if they aren't lined up perfectly. But I did find that that didn't matter too much. If I would have used a thinner paper in between them, something I could see through a little better. This is a little heavier paper. Then, oh, I lined them almost perfectly. You can't see it, but let's see. Oh. They're almost perfect, except for these guys aren't. Okay, I'm going to shut this off. We're done with the laminator. And then we need our trimmer. And I trimmed really close to the edge. Now make sure you're not slicing right through the other piece. So I would give them a little bit of space to start with and trim all the way around, leaving a little bit of space, and then we'll clean it up after we get the two pieces separated. First, we're just separating the papers. Okay, so there's one side. Let's go ahead and trim this up now. I am putting it very close to the edge. Whoops, I put it too close to the edge there. So I'll have to clean that up a little bit. There we go. I have found it doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't seem to separate from the plastic, from the laminate. Whoops. Let's go this way. What I'm trying to do is put the wire piece right along the edge, so I'm still getting a little bit of plastic out there. Doesn't always work. I seem to be messing up today. Oh no, she's messing up. Okay. And because we put because we put a piece of paper between these, we now have two of these that we can use. But now I let this one sit, and now it's getting all nice and set up. But because I don't have one on the back of it now, I can have a much easier time of cutting it and not worrying about slicing into the one on the back. We don't want to cut up our other pouch. And one more. See? Cool. So So now we are going to have 2 pouches. Let's get the extra piece done here. This one I can see is close here. And this one sticks out further down here. You can see I could have put some other items in there and laminated them, huh? Looks like I can cut down this one. I'm kind of peeking through. And there we go. Now we can separate them. And it's very hard to see when the laminate is so shiny. And you can see some of the paper there. Oh, I see what it's doing. Okay, and this one. Where's the rest of it? It's in there. We just got to break the seal around the 2 pieces of paper. Sorry if my head keeps getting up in the... I'm getting a lot of glare, so I'll bet you are too, huh? Okay, I can't see it. There's too much glare with my glasses. So I'm just going to trim it. There we go. Okay, let's put that aside. I think that's the hardest part of the whole deal, is getting that laminate cut and being able to see it to make sure you can get some nice clean straight cuts. Okay, now where those folds are, I want you to fold those and use your bone folder to really push them down. And same way here. Now, because we left a little extra space up here and at the bottom for our pouch, it's going to fit in there very nicely, as you can see, without interfering with this part or the fold down here. Okay, now this little piece here that we laminated extra, we are going to glue it in place right here. Going to have to trim that off. This just, like I said, gives added protection to the snap that we're going to use. And I'm just using plastic snaps on this. If you wanted, you could use the metal ones. I do have metal ones, but I wanted to play with the plastic ones. So I'm just going to line that up before that glue sets. And be careful you don't cut yourself, because this is very sharp laminate. So just check it, be sure it looks okay. Okay. Now the other thing that I did was, may not be able to do it this time, on the top part I squished that down and made a, I'm probably not going to be able to do it. There we go. Made a, oh, that's because that's a 1/2 inch. I need a 1/4 inch. Okay. I just rounded this just a tiny bit. And you can see it's almost impossible to do. I should have rounded them before I glued them together. It does help if you get them in there right, but it's pretty thick for all of that. I bet I could do them like this. Oh, there we go. That worked. I like that better. And then this way. That kind of rounded it a little better. And then I rounded it 1/4 inch here. And 1/4 inch here. And on the top I gave them a 1/2 inch round. Now my 1/2 inch is stuffed full of paper, so you can see it doesn't want to cut too well. And then if you wanted, you could go around the edges with your permanent ink. Okay. So now we're going to install this part right here. So I like to turn it that way. And then we do the glue the same way we did before. Right in the middle. And a line along the bottom. And then we line it up with the front cover and bring it up to the top and center it in that extra little space we got there. These definitely would have been nicely done if I had inked them. That would have looked really nice. I could have used yellow or whatever. And then in the center, I almost took off with my glue. Do you see that? I don't want it to take up too much space there or it won't work right. Okay. So just make sure it's all glued together. And while that one's setting up, we will make the other one. Oh, it's so pretty, isn't it? Too bad that dragonfly's not on the front, but he doesn't look bad upside down. So once again, gluing this in. Oops. Oh, I didn't round my corners, guys. It's because my corner rounder's over there laying down. Gotta clean out my corner rounder. Apparently, laminate takes up a lot of space. Oh yeah, it sure does. Well, hopefully I won't glue it all. It's because I have glue on it now. I'm afraid to put it in there. Okay. There we go. That'll do. Okay. Make sure our glue hasn't dried out. As you know, this glue dries fairly quick. And some of it was dry. We'll just go over it again. We'll line it up with the top. And then center it so there's just a little tiny edge around it here. Okay, now let's put this piece on before we forget. It's going to go up here. The nice thing about this is it brings some of the pretty color in here too. And it makes this piece go right side up. So I like that idea. I do. Now that one was just slightly bigger. So I'm going to trim it up. There we go. Now these are, you know, I probably said this before, but these are not, not waterproof. They are laminated, but they are not waterproof. They are only laminated on one side. Now this is a 1/2 inch, and so is this. And there we go. So let's glue this up the middle or down the middle. So to give it a little dot extra up there. I better bring it to the side. And fold that up. Make sure everything's fitting. And that'll fold over, and it will. Okay, just a moment, please. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for waiting. Okay, I'm going to bring you a little closer, and hopefully I'll stay on camera. Okay. Now, we need to put some holes in here for our snaps. Let's get the snaps. Here's the snaps. Let me get this closer to me so that I can show you. These snaps are super easy to do. I was so worried. There was nothing to worry about. Okay, I think for this one, I want to use the bright yellow. So there's 3 different shapes in each of these pockets. The first shape are the 2 button tops or bottoms. They're exactly the same. You need 2 of those. And then you need one that looks like that. And on the back it's flat. And the other part is, oh, those. Gosh, I hope, oh, there it is. It's a little fatter, rounder one. There we go. And on the opposite sides, they look like that. Okay. Okay, so let's put that back there. I'm going to bring these back up here. And we have our top snap is going to be this little fatty one that has the little fat edges on it. And the bottom one, this other snap, the bottom snap is going to be this one, thinner edge. Okay, so then we measure our approximate. We know that this is about 4 1/4 inches. So if we divide that between our, 4 1/4 inch, we know that right here at the middle mark, approximately, it's going to be right about here. I'm going to go ahead and poke that through both pieces. Now I'm going to lay it down on here, and I'm going to give a little poke in here to make a mark right here. And now I'm going to poke that through. Did you see that? I gave a poke here through the first one we made. And we don't want it to go through all of them. We just want it to go through this first one. So we find our little hole, and you can see the tool just goes right to there. Okay? Now on the top part, we insert this little plastic piece right here. And then we get our little tool. Now the button part, this part, the one that looks kind of like a button, it's going to go in the bottom. And this roundy part is going to go on top. So it's the little pointy, sharp piece is pointing up now, but we put this little roundy, fatty one up there. And we're going to just set it on the table, give it a squeeze, and you'll see on the inside that pointy part is now flat. So it just displaces that plastic and spreads it out as it presses it down. Now this piece, the other pointy button, it goes on the inside, and it's a little hard to reach down in there, I do have to say. It's hard to see where the hole is at. And, oops, this little part goes up. The little hat part goes up. See, that would be more flat, and this is the hat part. It goes up. And kind of push it on there. And then this is nice and fairly flat here, so it gets in here just fine. I hope. Uh-oh. I almost didn't make it. It was almost down too far. And it did the same thing in there. Flattened out that pointy part. And there we go. There's our first one done. I think one of those is not flat enough. They didn't say what to do if it got too far away. Oh, I see. It did kind of misshape it a little bit. So you want to make sure that that's a good thing that this happened. So you can see that this I should have brought down a little bit. And I probably should have made this a little bit shorter up here. So something to note. Definitely has to go up higher. So you wouldn't want it to go any further than right here, really. That would have been perfect. But it seems to work okay. I don't like the way it unsnaps. But it's very pretty. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And you have nice sturdy envelopes here. So there's that one. Shall we finish this one? We'll see if we can do this one right. We don't want it to go any further than right about there. So the snap then needs to go up a little higher up here. I see. So it's good. I'm learning something too. This is all new to me, actually. Just learning my... Okay, so we'll move the snap up here, which means it's hopefully in the right place on the other one. There. Okay. I hope that will work. If not, we'll have to make another hole. Yes, that one should work okay. Okay, I don't want to use yellow. This time I want to use, I don't know, what color do you think we should use? We have pink. How about a bright pink? No, I don't really like the bright pink. Here is... Whoops, this color, it kind of goes, doesn't it? And it definitely goes with the inside. And I definitely dropped one on the floor. Well, my dog is not in here right now, so I'm safe there. Here we go. And a little fat one. There it is. There we go. Okay, I have the little fat one. And the one with the hat. The fat and the hat. Not the cat in the hat. Okay. Whoops. So starting with this one, we insert the button side with the pointy piece. And then the one that's the little fatter one. And it squeaks. It says, "You squeezed me too hard last time." Yeah, I just flattened out just a little bit more. Sorry. Trying to see where that hole is. There we go. Little hat part. And insert the tool. So I got this tool on Amazon. They have tons of them. And so you really just got to kind of look around and you got to look at the colors and see what you like and don't like, and look and see what, make sure this piece comes with it. It's important. And anyway, they have all kinds of colors. I bought this color. They are very, very fragile, but they're kind of cool. Yeah, it's kind of fun to play. As we all know, as crafters, it's fun to play. But anyway, Amazon is where I got mine. The one thing I can say is that I wish I'd have bought one that was all in one kit, because there's extra pieces that come with this. Extra parts. There's a screwdriver and there's one of these in case you bend the other one, and extra little cups in case you lose them. So it really does come with extra goodies. An extra button pad. And it does not tell you what all these are for, but there they are. So, anyway, that is all I have. Fun little laminated envelopes, ephemera holders, what should we call them? It was fun to make them this way, with their own envelopes. Now, if you want to cut that shape here into these, do it before you get it all together. And then I made these out of envelopes. And these were just the envelopes of this size that came from Hobby Lobby in a thing of cards like this. So, and you have to just seal the back closed completely, and then you trim off the top. And I ended up trimming them down quite a bit as I practiced making them, because I learned that you had to have some space. Now, I will say these are much more sturdy, and their insides are much more pretty. I just think they're very pretty. So, anyway, cool things you can do with your laminator. Very fun. And these will make great little gifts. My granddaughter will love having one. And she'll probably want to make one. She won't want just one. She'll want to make one of her own. Of course, my dear, you can do that. I will let you. This is your grandma. Grandma says, "Oh boy, you bet." So let's go there. And there. And there. Yeah, I think you could make, bigger ones. And I don't know. My next trick is to try to make the journal. And I haven't decided how I want to make it yet. So, okay. Thanks for joining me today, and I sure hope you had fun figuring this all out with me. It went well, didn't it? Well, thank you for being my subscribers, and thank you for giving me a thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. I hope to see you tomorrow or the next day. I think I'm moving my videos to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I may throw in some extras when there's collaboration type things like Marguerite Miller and Rachel's Roxy Creations weekly challenge. So I may throw in some extras with those if I get that done during the week. And but otherwise I am kind of moving into doing my digitals now. And I really love doing them. So That's what I'm wanting to get done. So anyway, I yawn. Oh my goodness. Okay, see you tomorrow or the next day. Bye and hugs.